Are our UK governments run by corrupt millionaires? Are they serving the people or just themselves? Today, we're diving deep into the makeup of the UK government to uncover the truth behind the privilege, power and profits that define Westminster. The UK government is made up of two main chambers, the elected House of Commons and the unelected House of Lords. But what you might not know is that these chambers are predominantly filled with millionaires. Yes, millionaires. And here's the burning question. Can a government of millionaires really represent the interests of ordinary people? When was the last time you felt a policy genuinely benefited the majority of us? It's a question that lingers in the minds of many. We often find ourselves wondering if the decisions made in the corridors of power truly reflect the needs and desires of the common people. Time and time again, we see policies that seem tailor-made to protect the wealthy. These policies often come disguised as measures for economic growth or national security, but who really benefits? The rich get richer, while the rest of us are left to fend for ourselves. Let's not forget the infamous examples. During the pandemic, some government ministers made fortunes off poorly planned PPE contracts. These contracts were awarded without proper scrutiny, leading to substandard equipment that endangered lives. The lack of accountability was staggering. Millions of taxpayers' money wasted, yet the profiteers walked away richer, untouched by accountability. The funds that could have been used to improve public services or support struggling families were instead funneled into the pockets of a privileged few. Useless PPE deals funded their holiday homes and yachts, all while frontline workers begged for proper equipment. These frontline heroes who risked their lives daily were left with inadequate protection, highlighting the stark contrast between the haves and the have-nots. Does this sound like a government that puts people first? The frustration and disappointment are palpable. Citizens are demanding justice, transparency, and policies that genuinely serve the public interest. It's time for a change, a shift towards governance that prioritizes the well-being of all, not just the privileged few. And what about the lies we hear during elections? Politicians make grand promises, painting a rosy picture of the future. They assure us of change, of better days ahead, and of a government that will finally listen to the people. Bold promises that are quickly forgotten as soon as they're in office. The very commitments that won them our votes are often the first to be abandoned. Instead of focusing on the public good, they get entangled in bureaucratic red tape and political games. They pretend to represent us, but often take bribes or act under the influence of powerful lobbies. These backroom deals and secretive meetings undermine the very essence of democracy. The interests of the common people are sidelined in favor of corporate agendas and personal gain. Their loyalty, not to the people but to those lining their pockets, wealthy donors and influential figures become their primary focus, leaving the average citizen feeling betrayed and disillusioned. The gap between the promises made and the actions taken grows wider each day. Even their expenses are eye-watering. Lavish dinners, extravagant trips and unnecessary luxuries are all billed to the taxpayer. The very people who are supposed to serve us are living lives of opulence at our expense. MPs can claim for homes in London only to rent them out and pocket the money. This blatant misuse of public funds is not just unethical, but also a slap in the face to hard-working citizens who struggle to make ends meet. They also benefit from generous travel expenses, first-class train tickets and taxi rides for distances they could easily walk. This sense of entitlement and disregard for public money is deeply troubling. In any other job, this would be highly questionable. Yet, in politics, it seems to be the norm. The need for transparency and accountability has never been more urgent. It's time for us to demand better from our leaders and hold them to the promises they make. Why do they get to play by a different set of rules? MPs' expenses are miles above what ordinary workers could ever dream of. And while many of us are struggling to make ends meet, they're collecting perks and payments on top of their already generous salaries. Then there's the issue of accountability. Some MPs are never seen by their constituents after being elected. They don't answer letters, hold surgeries, or fulfill the promises they made during their campaigns. What kind of democracy is that? Here's what needs to change. Every MP, Commons and Lords, should be elected. Their tax returns should be made public, and all income, including any side jobs or lobbying payments, must be taxed. Tax avoidance? Make it illegal, and that includes the royal family. If they're running businesses, they should pay business taxes just like everyone else. Expenses should reflect real working conditions. No more loopholes, no more cashing in on properties or perks. MPs should serve us, not themselves. Imagine a government that truly works for the people. A government that listens, understands, and acts in the best interest of its citizens. Picture a system where every individual feels valued and heard, where policies are crafted with the input of the community and where transparency is the norm, not the exception. A government where every ward has the power to recall an MP if they fail to deliver. Imagine the empowerment this would bring to local communities, knowing they have a direct say in their representation. This would ensure that elected officials remain accountable and truly serve their constituents. A government where every decision is made transparently and every voice is heard. Public consultations would be a regular practice, and decisions would be made in the open with input from all stakeholders. This would foster trust and collaboration between the government and the people. That is what democracy should look like. A vibrant, participatory system where citizens are actively engaged in the decision-making process. Voting would be just one part of a larger, ongoing dialogue between the government and the governed. The current system is broken, but it doesn't have to stay that way. We see the frustration and disillusionment in the faces of many. But change is possible. It starts with recognizing the flaws and demanding better from our leaders. Change starts with awareness, and awareness starts with conversations like this one. So let's demand better, let's engage in meaningful discussions, educate ourselves and others, and push for reforms that will lead to a more just and equitable system. Let's hold our leaders accountable. It's not enough to just vote them into office. We must ensure they follow through on their promises. Attend town hall meetings, ask tough questions, and demand transparency in their actions. Leave a comment below. What changes do you want to see in our government? Your voice matters, and sharing your thoughts can spark important conversations. Engage with others, share your ideas, and let's build a collective vision for a better future. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to support this channel and keep the conversation going. Your engagement helps spread the message and brings more people into the dialogue. Together we can amplify our voices and drive change. Together we can make a difference. Thanks for watching. Remember, change is possible when we come together with a shared vision and a commitment to action. Let's continue to strive for a government that truly represents and serves its people.